Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Honestly, coming into this week, we didn't really know all that much about our next Warzone 2 map that's dropping in just a couple of weeks time, actually. You know, going into this week, we had various leaks and rumors saying that the next map that we'd be getting is going to be a Resurgence map by the name of VONDEL, and it'd be set in the Netherlands. And that's about as much information as we had on the map. But we knew that it was supposed to be coming with Season 4, which is dropping here on June 14th. And yesterday, for whatever reason, was apparently VONDEL Leak Day, because we got so many new details, so many new leaks, and honestly, basically because of the sources that it's coming from, official information on the map. So the majority of the intel here today is stemming from Charlie Intel. And quite frankly, Charles Intelligence is as good of a source you could possibly have when it comes to Call of Duty news. So while it's not the official Call of Duty account tweeting this stuff out or talking about this stuff, this is basically unofficially official if it's being tweeted about from the Charlie Intel account. So initially we covered this very briefly yesterday, but this was their first tweet. Season 4 begins June 14th and will include the new Warzone map VONDEL, which is set in the Netherlands and is developed by Beanox, who also ended up making Rebirth Island. Per sources, map will have Resurgence support to start. More info to come. So this tweet obviously is hinting at the fact that it's going to be a Resurgence map outright initially. So just like Ashika Island. The question there is it going to run alongside Ashika Island? So we'd have Al Mazrah and we'd have Ashika and we'd have VONDEL, or would it replace Ashika Island? For that, really only time is going to tell, but they're also sort of insinuating here, Charlie Intel is teasing that it could expand to more beyond Resurgence. And that's basically where their second tweet comes into play. Charlie Intel also says VONDEL should also support DMZ at some point, per sources. So initially it launches, it'll just be there for Resurgence gameplay. Pretty standard, right? But then obviously all the play spaces that we've seen for Warzone 2 so far have made their way into DMZ, with DMZ actually having some exclusive play spaces, like obviously Building 21 and then Koshki Complex as well. So this will eventually, VONDEL will eventually be turning into a DMZ map at some point too, and likely will have various specific challenges for it. I imagine it's probably not going to be a gated entry, similar to how Building 21 you needed the access card for some time there, right? This will probably be just like Ashika Island. You can drop in and there will be specific challenges, maybe some specific bosses there too, so you can play that mode and experience that in a new play space. I really do like that. It's definitely giving the map, you know, more than just the face value. Okay, it's a new Warzone map, right? You also can play it in many different, very different dynamics, I guess is the best way to put it. But things get even more interesting when it comes to the VONDEL map in a way that we actually have never seen in Warzone history, dating all the way back to 2020 when Warzone 1 initially dropped. Here's what Charlie Intel also ended up talking about yesterday. VONDEL should also have support for a Battle Royale mode at some point after its launch, per sources, and it would be the first time that there is 2 Battle Royale maps in rotation in Warzone. So this is particularly interesting. If VONDEL is meant for a Resurgence map, you would assume that it's probably going to be a little bit more smaller, a little bit more condensed and compact, so it fits that gameplay of only having, you know, 45 or 50 people on the map, right? You would think Battle Royale maps obviously going to be much larger, focusing on 150 players, plenty of points of interest, plenty of rotations depending on where the zone pulls. 2 very different experiences. So that in and of itself is kind of groundbreaking, but we're going to talk a little bit more on that here in just a moment because of another Charlie Intel tweet, but also want to bring up the fact that yes, this would also indicate that Al Mazrah and VONDEL would each be live for Battle Royale at the same time. Keep in mind, the next main large Warzone map is set to debut this fall with Call of Duty 2023, aka Modern Warfare 3, and as of right now, all the leaks, all the rumors are pointing towards that being the Las Almas map, which we've talked about already several times on the channel, right? So that would for sure mean that this is going to be happening for, you know, Battle Royale before the end of Season 5. So just theorizing here, perhaps Season 4, VONDEL drops at launch and it's there for Resurgence, and then Season 4 Reloaded or 4.5, then it drops for DMZ and we have access to it there. Then maybe at the launch of Season 5, VONDEL is then available for Resurgence, DMZ, and then ultimately Battle Royale as well. really interesting bit of information there from Charlie Intel. And then their last main tweet that we have before we get into actual map details that ended up leaking yesterday as well is the sizes, which might explain why this map is going to be crossing over so much. So here's what Charlie Intel says about this. Warzone 2 map sizes in order. The first is Al Mazrah. That is obviously the largest or the biggest map here. The second would be Vondel. The third would be Ashika Island. So Vondel apparently in size is going to be in between Al Mazrah and Ashika Island, which there's a large gap there, right? Those two maps are very different in scale. So it could be, you know, closer to the Ashika Island side of things versus the Al Mazrah side of things, or vice versa, or it could be smack dab in the middle. We just don't know. They do say stay tuned for June 14th. So obviously more details are going to be coming here. And whenever they end up happening, you guys already know I'm going to have you covered with all the latest stuff you need to know for COD. So stick it here for that alongside everything going on every single day. Make sure you are subscribed with those noties turned on. And if you guys enjoy the video, if you guys are excited for the Vondel map to drop, let me know by dropping a like on the video itself. Would be seriously appreciated. But it's interesting that it's still going to be smaller than Al Mazrah, but potentially meant for Battle Royale. Who knows if it's going to be 150 players, maybe it's 120 or 100, but still the Battle Royale rule set. And if it's larger than Ashika, maybe it's a 55-person resurgence or a 60-person resurgence. I'd be curious to see what the player counts are going to be here specifically. Again, that's something to keep our eyes on. Perhaps we get more details on that soon. But then to round out the day of Vondel-based leaks, we also got a new tweet from Alex, who is a leaker and data miner in the Call of Duty community, and they ended up posting the various different locations on the map. So the various different points of interest, DMZ zones, all sorts of stuff like that. So here's the list of locations that we have for Vondel as of right now. Keep in mind, these are just leaks in this case, as opposed to basically news from Charlie Intel. So these could be subject to change, and who knows if these are going to be the final names of the locations as well. But currently, we've got Aquarium, we've got City Hall, we've got Fire Station. There's no way I pronounce this right. This is Nieuwe Stradsport. I definitely butchered that. We've got Old Museum, Floating House, University, New Museum, Police Station, Stadium. I wonder if there'll be any relation to Stadium from Verdansk potentially. We've also got Cruise Terminal and Train Station. So a pretty decent variety of points of interest just based off of their names. And let's be honest, the majority of these are pretty self-explanatory, right? Fire Station, we've got buildings like that already. Train Station, we had that back in Blackout, could be something similar to that. You know, Police Station, so on and so forth. Floating House could be an interesting one, but it's possible that a lot of these are just based off of real locations in the Netherlands as well. But was not expecting to gain this much information regarding Vondel in a 24-hour span, let alone so much information that makes this map seem like it's going to be a complete game changer in regards to what a map actually offers in terms of content and replayability, I guess you could say. So all that being said, that is effectively going to wrap things up for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications to always stay up to date with all ththings going on in MW2, Warzone 2, and DMZ. And as always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WhosImmortal for a discount on all G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products, and the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.